Hey, good morning. It's 10:02 a.m. It is January 3rd. It is Wednesday morning. Happy New Year, everyone, and I do apologize because I didn't make a video on the first of the month, on the actual day of New Year's, but I'm finally getting around to it. I figured people were probably busy hanging out, much too busy for YouTube, right? So anyway, I was looking online for something completely unrelated to this picture, but this popped up in the images screen, and I kept thinking, what is this? So I was looking at it, and I kept thinking, this is interesting. So I thought I'd share this picture with everyone. I believe this comes from Ancestry.com. And I checked, and it said that the photo was shareable. So I thought I'd share this photo since it seems like it's okay. Anyway, I was looking at the picture. Now you might want to look at this and check it out. Look at your feet. Apparently there's a way of identifying your ancestry by looking at your feet. Now I don't know. I mean, I'm giving this. I'm making this like an experiment. Okay, now I looked at my feet, right? I will say my feet are very wide. I have very wide feet. I don't have a pronounced arch in my feet, right? So like when I would look at other people's footprint, like when you're walking through the sprinklers when you're a kid and you're looking on the sidewalk and you see your little footprint, right? I noticed that my feet were just like basically flat, okay? Which I do have a lot of problems with my feet. I was thinking about, I would like to be able to see one of these people who make, shoes for people who have slight problems with their feet. I might have one leg might be a little bit longer than the other or something along those lines, because I will tell you, when I wear shoes regularly, like I have a decent amount of shoes, but like when I wear like a pair of shoes consistently, they start to wear, and they always have like the bottom of the heel is always kind of like bent a certain way, right? Because I'm not walking properly. And I do have a lot of pain in my feet. But anyway, according to this particular chart, you're looking at your toes and the way that they're aligned. And so I would say that my feet look like the Egyptian foot, okay? But I also noticed that I have my second toe is taller than my big toe, like the big toe, right? So it looks like there's the Egyptian and there's a small amount of Greek. Now, obviously, Cleopatra had mixed ancestry. Okay, she lived in Egypt, but she did have mixed ancestry, which I believe she did have Greek blood, right? So I was looking into Cleopatra, and I kind of studying her a little bit, and it talked about the different blood that she had. So anyway, I have a combination. I would say my foot is basically Egyptian with a little bit of Greek with that little toe. Okay, take a look at your feet and see what you think. And if you care to leave a comment about your feet, go ahead and do so in the comment box. So I've just been hanging out in my room, like I always do. I just like being by myself, I think a lot of it comes from my conditioning in childhood. I spent a lot of time by myself. I mean, yeah, I had my little playmates and stuff like that, but most of the time I was really reflective and just wanted to be off to myself and think about, the bullshit that was going on around me. And I always knew that I was in an environment that seemed wrong. I never thought that maybe something was wrong with me. Now, that might sound arrogant to some people, but I knew that, I was well within my right to do the things that I wanted to do, whether that be wearing knee socks with people on it, because I used to have like these knee socks with little, I don't know, embroidered people on it, and they were really cute, and I think some kids like bullied me for stuff like that, or, just me speaking up about things that interest me. Um, I guess I was kind of a nerdy kid, but would I have been that bullied had I not been cloned and it was like a community type thing, where people were just like bullying me for whatever? Because I knew there was a few other black kids who went to my school. Most of them were boys. There was like a few, like maybe two other black girls, right? They seemed to be okay within their little social dynamic, but it was always like me, right? So, um, you know, I always preferred just to kind of be off to myself because I knew that people's behavior was weird. I didn't know exactly what was triggering it. I did honestly think in my mind at times when I was a kid, I kind of knew that people resented my intelligence. I kind of got that, you know what I mean? And I kind of understood that, but I didn't understand like the root of it. Like I was some little clone that people thought was, you know, evil, wicked, or whatever. I don't know, but wow, they were so wrong, you know. So anyway, so being by myself is something that I'm just comfortable with, you know, and it just allows me the time to just think and, you know, kind of gather my thoughts. So I did get some intuitive messages today, and I wanted to kind of share them. I'm going to back up from this um, desk a little bit. I hope you can hear my voice from where I'm sitting because I have the heater on, and it just kind of keeps me, well, it keeps me warm, right? But it, you know, I have this weird like relationship with electronics. Like I was talking about in one of my videos, how I was getting messages from my coffee maker. Like I feel like I have company when the heater is on. You know, I know it's weird, but whatever. Anyway, so the first message I got was it was a message that I got like a couple of days ago, but I'm kind of getting it again. That people just realized, hey, Maria's a clone, so go ahead and live as a clone. And I already mentioned that. You know, like life as a clone really isn't any different other than okay, the fact that you know, obviously I do have a high IQ and that sort of stuff. Okay, but as far as like I do the same things that everybody does, right? You know, I eat, I drink, I use the restroom. You know, I have hobbies, I have interests. You know, you know, it's nothing any, it's no different. You know what I mean? So it's just like, but I think what it is that people know that I'm a clone. So it's not like people can't talk to me. I'm never going to bring it up, okay? But if somebody said, hey, you know, aren't you that girl from YouTube or whatever and whatever, yeah, I guess I would say, yeah, you know what I mean? And just kind of keep the conversation moving. But it's not like, yeah, it really is no difference. No difference. Like if I thought that this was just a work issue, like when I thought the targeting was just like primarily my family, just fucking hating my guts for some weird reason, and then understanding that it's actually deeper than that. I thought that I was just like everyone else, popped out of my mom's womb, and I was like related to these people. But, and you know, I'm a human being, okay? I know some people think that I'm not, which is, but I do think because of the fact that, you know, this particular race that I'm from does come from the stars, okay? So it gets deep for a lot of people. Obviously, I am in no way a threat to anyone. You know, I care about humanity. I was just thinking about that this morning. Like, you know, I think about like the homeless like almost every day. Seriously, I am not kidding you. I think the homeless plays a big has a big like heart in my heart, like because they feel so discarded, and you know they want dignity, and I feel that, you know, and I when I see them I feel that, you know. So I know, I mean, you know, I think gosh. But the thing is that so many people had an idea of how reality was, and I can understand their reaction to a certain extent as to how they felt about me, you know, because it is weird. I think it's weird. I think it's very weird to know like my origins, okay? My origins are, I'm going to say, they're weird. They're very strange. You know what I mean? I wake up every day and I'm like, is this really like my reality? And it's like, yeah, this is it, you know? And everything in my like spiritual life, it confirms that. And when I go outside, because the tension is less, you know what I mean? Like, I don't see people like kind of getting like tensed up. I mean, like, you know, tensed up with tension or, you know, feeling like they have to be quiet, you know, when I'm out in public or whatever. It's just like normal, you know what I mean? I think it just kind of puts things in to perspective, but whatever. Anyway, the other message is that people now understand that this weird experiment was wrong, and that the competition that was created between me and my twin was immoral, and it was inhumane, and it was just outright wrong. I would never be in competition with somebody. First of all, I don't even know this person, okay? But I do think that this whole issue is extremely traumatizing for me. I don't know, like I said, I don't know this person. I've never met this person. I only knew that this person existed like within the last maybe month or so, somewhere around there. Um, so I'm a little like disturbed that there was like some sort of bullying that was going on from her. Like I thought that my sister Lisa, my, my adopted sister, was behind all of this. It's very hard, for me to deal and process something this weird. Like it's very strange to me. And okay, I'm gonna just come right out. I think it's disturbing. It disturbs me. The thought of it disturbs me. I did, I think about maybe 2 weeks ago, start following her on Instagram, and then today I was like, I was looking through Reels because I went through Facebook, entertained myself with some of their videos, and I kind of switched over to Instagram. And so I noticed that one of her Reels popped up, and it was just too disturbing for me. So I did unfollow her because I feel as though this whole experiment thing is just too weird for me to process. It's too weird for me to deal with somebody um, who had some sort of vendetta against me. I don't even know this person, you know what I mean? So to me, it was just like, it's too much. But I would never be in competition with someone. And I think that the idea of the experiment of pitting somebody against another person, obviously we know the mastermind behind this whole experiment. By the way, Joseph Mengele died in 1979, okay? Supposedly, because weird, whatever, supposed to be in Argentina, but then he whatever about Joseph Mengele. But anyway, uh, I noticed in the bullying it started. I noticed it, like really started noticing it. Started in like first grade. Okay, so I think I was in first grade in maybe 1977. I think I started school in 1976, 77, 78. Okay, so like 1977. Okay, so he probably got the ball rolling with this other person that we knew that was, I thought, was a friend of the family, but I think he kind of had like a little bit of the Joseph Mengele thing going. Whoever was the person who was putting the bug in the school kids' ear, okay? It doesn't take very much to get the ball rolling of bullying because, you start the bullying in one year and it's going to carry over to the next year and so on and so on and so forth. So that was a bad thing to do. Um, it's weird to me because like I've always read these things about like Nazis and Hitler and Joseph Mengele, and I always thought it was disturbing to me. It was like really twisted to me. Um, but I always thought that this was going on with somebody else. Okay, like it's not, you know, it was like part of history. It was something that happened, but like it actually was kind of a part of my life. And who's to say that my interest in that topic when I was a kid was in some way telling me that this is something that you're connected with in some weird way, okay? Because I'm not Jewish, okay, but I do remember watching the Holocaust and feeling extreme like sympathy like for these people. And I remember when I was a kid, like I would try to imagine what it would be like to be hiding away, scared to death, and you have a little baby. That's your baby, right? But the baby's crying, and you're just fearful. Like, how would they deal with something like that? And I just kept thinking, oh my God, it's just the thought of it just made me extremely sad. You know what I mean? So that life, that what happened to them, what happened to them affected me. Okay. So, and I took a big interest in it and the masterminds behind that whole thing. So anyway, maybe my over interest in that, or my extreme interest in that as a kid, was in some way not just compassion, because it really did really upset me, but it was also some sort of message, you know. So anyway, also the other message that I got was that a lot of people from my hometown want to connect with me. They know how to get in touch with me. My information is in my about section. If they are interested in communicating with me, then you can do so by email. Like I said, there are certain people that I would not want to deal with, okay? Like, I don't want to see them. It's just as traumatizing to me as seeing the person that I just unfollowed on Instagram. It's like it's like Joseph Mengele. It's like constantly being bullied. It's the fact that I'm 52 years old. I have no retirement. It just goes all the way down the line to all the injustices and everything else. Okay. But there are certain people that I would love to connect to. Okay. So, take a chance. Write me an email. If I don't respond to you, then that would let you know that maybe it's just not a good idea to reconnect, okay? But, like I said, if you're really that interested, you really want to reconnect, or think it's worth a try, you can drop me an email. Anyway, yeah, I do think it's better. The other message I got, and I had the same one a few days ago, that it is better for me to just focus on spiritual messages, like intuitive messages, and like things that I think that are interesting in like the practice of the occult. Okay, those are the things that I would rather focus on. I do think that people got the message. The people up on the top of the pyramid, they got the message. They understand what happened. They understand that I would never want something like this to happen in a million years. Like, I would never, you know, I don't like to stir up trouble. As a matter of fact, I like to just stay in my little world. You know what I mean? I prefer to stay in my little world, and a lot of that comes from just having to deal with the bullying my entire life. You know what I mean? And having a deep understanding of human nature, how they can just turn on you just like that for whatever reason. So, I like to stay out of Dodge. You know what I mean? So for people to think that I would come up against something like a religious structure or political structure, I would never do something like that. I just have my beliefs, and I kind of just like, do my own thing. But I did make YouTube videos in 2008 or 2009, somewhere around there, and that was a really good summer, by the way, because you want to connect to other people who have different interests. Like I said, the people that I was communicating with on YouTube at that time came from different spiritual paths. I mean, there was people who practiced voodoo, there were people who practiced Santeria, there were people who were practicing Wicca, there were people whatever. But what about this community is that people were trying to get in touch with their roots, right? But also the fact that you know you could still exchange ideas, but they were still, doing their own little separate thing. And I think it's odd that I would lose viewers, I think it's odd that I would lose viewers based on my spiritual beliefs, since it was such an eclectic group. Also, that's why I believe that there was something malicious that you know that was created with like a rumor or whatever. Obviously, all those rumors got squashed, okay? Because I know people thought that, well, maybe I'm pretty sure people said that I was promiscuous and all this other stuff. First of all, I would like to say that no, obviously I'm not. I've always been pretty reserved about that sort of stuff. But even if I was, so what? Let's just say, for example, I'm a single woman and I choose to sleep around with men that I find attractive, right? Which that's not my personality, okay? But isn't that what people do? Would that not be normal? And so when people like express that sort of stuff, obviously there's jealousy going on, okay? I that's not me at all, but whatever. That's unfortunate that happened, and I think that's probably when I started getting closed in. Like before, when I was doing videos, it was like I was open to the public. But I will say, like there's a way that YouTube or these social media things could like manipulate or kind of do things with viewership or something to where I don't know, something weird happened, okay? To where, you know, I got boxed in. I got boxed into like Facebook, meaning like my first Facebook account I disconnected from. I still kind of peek in every once in a while, only because I figured out the password and there was some pictures that I wanted to extract from my old account and download into my computer and keep them. So, you know, whatever. Anyway, there was just a lot of uh, rumors that were going on and bullying that was going on, and it was just wow. You know, I can't tell you the weird stuff that went on in the last few years. And it's funny because I left the Farmer's Place 10 years ago, like literally, well, yeah, 10 years ago. Exactly. And this whole thing spiraled into something I would have never ever suspected in a million years. It just got weirder and wilder and stranger, and oh my god. Anyway, about Patreon, I'm still not able to upload videos right now. I was able to post my quarterly newsletter, so that's good. But I am in communication with Patreon right now, trying to figure out what's going on with my account. I do think I understand what's going on with my account. I just, you know, I'm not going to say anything. I understand how this works and whatever, but it's. I just want to get on with my life. You know what I mean? More than anything, it's just like the fact that I can't follow this particular person on Instagram. Just like there's certain people that I have to weed out. There's just like it's just the fact that everything, the stagnation is another trigger. You know what I mean? It's not that I'm trying to complain. I do understand their point on their side. Okay, I'm not talking about Patreon. Patreon's blameless. Okay, but I'm talking about this particular group that doesn't want to be identified. You know what I mean? But try to see it from my point of view. Okay, like I missed out on really precious years that I can never get back, like childhood, teenage years, my early life, raising my son was. I mean, I really enjoyed. I could have been a better mother had I not been dealing with the workplace mobbing, the bullshit. You know, all of that stuff was just too much. You know, I could have had a decent life, okay. And then you know, it's always like I feel like I don't get any consideration sometimes. You know what I mean? That's just my feeling, okay? And I'm just releasing that. But anyway, my newsletter is on Patreon. Also, yeah, the other message was people from my past in general, okay? Um, some of these people want to get in touch with me. Like same with things, same thing with the people with Lancaster. If you are interested in getting in touch with me, you can write me an email. Okay, my information is in my about section. You know, it all comes down to, like I said, you know, did you, you know, where was your mind when where were you on that pyramid? You know what I mean? Where were you on that pyramid? You know, because because that's some pretty wicked shit. That is very twisted and very sick, you know, and that's my point. You know what I mean? It's like when you have to kind of explain and dissect the issue for a lot of people, because a lot of people they just thought, well, you know, she's a clone, and they thought that I was the Antichrist, right? Which is crazy, but they don't know any better. And they all they know is that they've probably seen the movie The Omen, which that kid was a fucking nightmare, which we all know, right? They also feel as though people who in positions of power can't be wrong. You know what I mean? So I understand the public's mindset on this issue, but at the same time, you know, I suffered for years. You know what I mean? And there's so much like injustice that goes into this because like I wasn't even given the opportunity to know why. You know what I mean? I knew there was a lot of racial bullshit that went on, right? But like the over attention, like I would look at other black women in general, and I would think, well, how come they don't have to fucking deal with this shit? You know what I mean? It's like I was given the short end of the stick from the get go. Like from the very beginning, I like it. This like really, there was like hardly any chance for me to even survive under those conditions. You know what I mean? And I mean, I just feel like sometimes it just when I think about like year after year after year and stuff, it just starts to get me really really upset because time is precious. Time is very precious, and I spent way too much time in my life having to deal with like garbage, basically. Hang on a second, I'm going to switch sides real quick. Okay, so this next slide is, I thought I was going to be funny, but this right here is my favorite Stuffy. I got him at a estate sale. This is when I think maybe in 2016. I keep thinking 2016, right? But I was like really, really under pressure. Like I was just like my brain was about to explode. And I kept thinking to myself every day, like, what in the world is going on? Like, what's going on with my employment? Why is everybody acting so crazy? I don't understand, why. I mean, I didn't do anything. And I kept saying, telling people, like, my videos, that I didn't know what was going on. I figured I knew my family had something to do with it, like my adoptive family had something to do with it. There was just too much stress. I mean, I couldn't take it, right? But this one day, I decided to go and check out this estate sale, right? And they had a lot of nice stuff there. But I was just there just to get out of the house, basically. And I saw this cute little stuffed baby doll. It was face down, and I was like curious about it. So I turned him around and I just looked at his face and I fell in love with this doll. I fell in love with this little doll, and like I held it close to me, and it gave off this loving vibration. Like it just felt so like adorable, right? And so I went up to the person. I'm like, "How much for the doll?" He's like, "Just $1." And I was like, "Oh my god, this is priceless." Anyway, I washed him up, took him home, and he's been with me ever since. And he just has this privileged spot on my bed. He just hangs out. I know it sounds silly, okay? I'm a 52-year-old woman. Here's the thing. I understand that I'm a little, what do they call it, one off or whatever, but I'm one off in a way where I'm completely sane. I am not somebody who should be admitted or I need to take some sort of drug or anything. I I gravitate towards things that are cute, right? I gravitate towards things that are cute, okay? And I have to love something, right? I will tell you that I prefer stuffed animals to the people that I had to deal with. What does that say? What does that say about them? No, but seriously, I just, I'm just one of those people who like cute things. Anything that has that cute little smile on its face, like I think it's called Kawaii, Kawaii. I think things like Hello Kitty or whatever, they're adorable to me, and it's something I've never outgrown, and I don't think I ever will. I think a lot of older women, you've been in their house where they have like bookcases and like shelves filled with dolls and stuff. Yeah, I like dolls, and yeah, I did a video on spirit dolls. Do I believe that my little Cabbage Patch, he is a Cabbage Patch, by the way. Do I believe this Cabbage Patch, I think he's a preemie too. Um, do I think that this particular Cabbage Patch is enchanted in some way? Um, yes, I do. Like he has like maybe some residual energy from the positive vibe that these people left in their home, perhaps. But I love this little guy. And it is what it is. You know what I mean? Some people will get into their animals, like their pets. They must have some sort of telepathic connection or some sort of emotion and connection with that animal. Some people are just like that. But anyway, I make no apologies because He's cute and he makes me happy. Okay, so anyway, the other issue that I got is that I'm not getting any flack for my views, and I'm glad that I'm not, because I know there's always some people out there that have their beliefs, you know what I mean? And I don't really feel that strongly. Like, you know, it's impossible for everybody to agree with somebody. That's just how it is. You know, it doesn't even matter how nice you are, whatever. Some people are always going to find fault with you no matter what. And as long as you expect that, you know, I think you're good. Like, you can't expect everything to be perfect in life, you know? But you know, I'm sorry that people jumped on this bandwagon. I'm sorry that this ever happened. You know, I certainly never wanted to bring that sort of attention to myself. I honestly thought that my YouTube channel, my earliest YouTube channel, in 2009, I think, I honestly thought that I was just one of these people that, you know, the people that I was in connection with, that was producing videos, and we were sharing ideas and we were swapping and information. I never thought that people thought that it was an attack against. I never mentioned anything about Christianity or anything like that. I guess it was just, you know, the fact that my adoptive family and these people at the top of the pyramid, they never liked me anyway. So it is what it is, and you know, it's shocking to me, but I can't switch my belief system just because of that. You know what I mean? I'm content with what I believe. You know what I mean? And my beliefs are, I do have a very strong moral system. I try very hard to live a good life. You know, I don't ever want to cause any problems with anybody. I don't want to cause any conflict with anyone. I'm not the kind of person who likes to compete with anybody. I understand, even before I realized that I was a clone, I understood that people had issues with me. So I always stayed out of Dodge, you know what I mean? I can't change my life to make other people happy. I don't believe that people are worth that. Um, you know, if people want a certain kind of person, like, for example, this particular twin, if she wants a certain person who's more like her, then that's what she needs to go find. You know what I mean? To For anyone to bully me for who I am, you know, there's nothing wrong with me. This is who I am, and these are my beliefs. This is how I live. These are my interests. These are my hobbies. These are the things I believe in. Um, and it hurts no one. It hurts no one, and it's not my responsibility to carry any sort of religious torch for my family. My mother and father never set that standard for me. I was always told, hey, you know what? You know, when you're 17, I was the age of 17 where I could choose my own religion. That was the rule in the house, and that's how I lived. You know what I mean? And you know, it just, this whole issue was just like horrible. It was wrong from the get go. It was abusive as fuck. It was a nightmare, you know. And yeah, it's sad that I find out, you know, so late in life what all this was about. I do know that my brother Rashawn, my ex-brother Rashawn, played a huge role in it. He never had much common sense, really. He never did. Um, this is not me insulting him. It's just that, you know, this sort of experiment, this sort of um, uh, I don't know, sick form of entertainment, what it does is it makes the family dynamics that you're being raised in, it implodes in on itself. You know, you have siblings competing against somebody that's supposed to be their family. Families should be warm, okay? Families should be like, you know, the mother should be protective. She should be caring for her offspring. That's how it should be, okay? But you have basically create monsters within your own family, and it was a nightmare. You know what I mean? And what makes it even worse is the covert nature of it. It's sick. Okay, so for the people who are at the top of the pyramid, you might want to add that into your notes. But then again, you know, because Joseph Mengele was top of the pyramid or part of it, that probably makes them very happy, because that's a very sick thing in the first place. You know, it seems like they thrive on that. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video. Oh, the other message that I did have is that, yeah, I get my spiritual confirmation says that reincarnation is kind of by consent. You know, I used to wonder, because I remember reading their gurus would say things like, you know, you choose your parents, you do this, you do that. I'm like, I don't see how, but when I meditate on it, it's like, okay, it makes sense. It makes sense to me. Okay, but like I said, I definitely must have agreed to come back, just to be with my father, you know, James Gordon. Not because I wanted to be a part of any weird experiment or any sort of excessive bullying or bullying at all, or, you know, stand out for or being bullied for my religion. I never asked for any of that. Didn't want it. Didn't, you know, I would have never asked for something like that. So maybe they should have told me more of the details before I actually agreed to such a thing. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up this video. I hope you all have a wonderful new year. Be back with another one sometime later. Take care.